What's up, rockers all across the world? I'm stoked to. It's been actually a long time coming. I'm surprised I haven't. I've been playing with her for years now, so it's kind of my fault for not having her on. But I'm having the Queen of the Sunset Strip. That could be a new song name. New song name, Sunset
Of
Strip.
course, gonna start
I
writing it.
have Miky Mik, my front woman that I get to play with.
Yeah, excited to be here. Like you said, it's been a long time coming. So excited for this sit down.
Yeah, and as we were kind of like going on the offline a little bit, talking about the history, essentially, how we kind of met because it was really, it's been like now almost 3 years since I played that first show with you and Joy, because I helped you get Joy as a drummer. You were needing a drummer,
Uh-huh.
but I met originally you, Matthias, through Santa Cruz when I was doing press for them back in like 21. Fuck, oh my God, it's even longer than that. I think maybe 21, 22.
Yeah, I think it was, yeah, 2021 is when we met.
Shit. But like I
It's
didn't
been a
start playing with
while.
you
It's
until
been a while.
22. So maybe it's been 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
We
4 years
live in the
playing,
same
5 years
state,
knowing.
I think is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like it's
Yeah,
again, it's a small world. You never know who you're gonna meet at shows, and then you just kind of create a whole new musical journey together, which is sick.
exactly. I think like we were talking about how bands kind of come together, and I think the evolution of bands is like the changing of members over time, and then one band ends up morphing into another band. So I think
Yeah,
that's kind of like we ended up morphing into a band together at one point.
which was kind of like I get a good way to talk about, I don't even know the history of Mick and Maxie, which was your original drummer, and it was you guys together. And Maxie's been coming to our shows, and she's an awesome, funny comedian. But I've only seen you guys once play one time at Whiskey. Yeah, it was at Whiskey. I think it was with Kaleido. You guys were playing with Kaleido. I think that was the last show I saw as Mick and Maxie, and then that's when you did the solo stuff.
Yeah, I think that was right about the time kind of following meeting you that we kind of ended up moving into different paths in life. So yeah, so Maxie was my drummer. It was a two-piece girl group, Mick and Maxie. And she is just multi-talented. So she's comedian, actor, musician. And I think at that point in her life, she had some great opportunities come about in comedy. And I think it was really pulling her away from the band time-wise. So I think we decided that, she's going to go ahead and pursue comedy, and then I'm going to continue on the path of music and just continue kind of instead of being Mick and Maxie, just be Miky Mick from there. But even before that, Maxie, as bands evolve, was even part of a different band before that. That was a different band before that, and it just morphed all the way to make its way into Miky Mick, I think, at one point.
Well, that's even see, I didn't even know about that. Well, how'd you and Maxie meet? Like, how did that happen? And the meeting, finding each other in the L.A. noise, which was incredibly hard. And it's ironic.
Exactly. Yeah, so I had a band Stolen Audio at the time, and I was just a guitarist and backup singer, and we needed a drummer. And so Maxie had applied, and we were talking to her about pulling her into the band. And actually, at that point, that band kind of moved in a different direction, and then I started moving in a direction of writing and wanting to do my own stuff as a front person. And then we pulled in Maxie and started this band called Crown Lust with Maxie as well at that time. And then later it went to Mick and Maxie.
It's interesting how you talked about like you guys were already in another band. You brought her in, and then you brought her into this new project that you want to do. And it's like it's it's crazy. No one really talks about it, and unless you're there noticing it, LA has become now just kind of a carousel of musicians playing with each other, right? You see like so and so working with this band, and then ultimately you kind of stumble into the band you want to stay with.
Yeah, I think it's a great way of meeting people. And, it's like trying a band out is like a relationship. You're trying out with everyone to see if you're compatible with them. And in the end, it comes down to who's going to be reliable and who's going to be there really to support you, I think. And that's how you end up in a good place with the band. And I'm really happy with our lineup that we have right now.
And it's kind of going back into like the back in the day stuff. How did I guess writing wise, and because you guys actually released a lot of music and we still played a few of it like before you finally have all your solo stuff that you wanted now, but we still did a few
Yeah.
songs from the McMaxie era. how did you guys come up with the music? Did you guys only do shows in LA, and all that good stuff?
Yeah, back then, I had so even before Mick and Maxi, there was Crown Lust and Stolen Audio. I had a band house back then, back in Echo Park. And so we were kind of all in the same area. And we were playing a lot around Echo Park, like Silver Lake Lounge, some shows downtown LA, as that was really close as well. El Cid in Silver Lake. We were more in that area, even though we had come out to the Sunset Strip, we had played, the Whiskey and things like that. We were more based in the Echo Silver Lake area originally.
Now, with after, you guys ultimately like with that final show, um, and creating Miky Mick, how did that essentially, what did that era of Miky Mick kind of decide? What was there even a moment when like, do I want to keep playing or do I want to just go as a solo artist now?
Yeah, I think nobody's truly a solo artist, I would say. We're always still dependent on others. So even if you can write everything in the studio, record everything in the studio, and do it yourself, still, if you're going to do something live, you're going to need other people. So you need to still collaborate, even if you are a solo artist at one point. I think moving from Mick and Maxi, there was never an option to stop doing music necessarily. No matter at what level I'm performing at or what level I'm writing at, how effective I am, I'm still going to be in music in one way or another. So I think it just kind of gave it the room to breathe, to really figure out what I wanted to do. And that's where the Miky Mik project came from. And it does reflect the roots in like the music we were playing before that was Mick and Maxi music. I think you can see the change over time, the flow of the same kind of art from one set to another.
That I mean, even when I was learning the songs to play the few that we did do live at first initially, and it was kind of like almost that soft pop punk little radio-esque behind it, maybe a little Avril Lavigne, but
Mhm.
as you shifted to your own name, your own brand, now we're on the more grungier side of Mickey Mick. And I feel like this is where you ultimately wanted to maybe drift it towards because from like Nuclear Fallout, Generation, I Don't Care, like they're a little bit more hard hitting than like I'd say, I mean, respectfully, the softer side of Mick and Maxi.
Yeah, that's actually really interesting you say that because I didn't realize it until now that you're right. The music does have more of a grunge backing than it did before. I know that working with Maxi, she liked a lot of the pop punk. A lot of her influences were pop punk. So when we were writing, I think I probably veered in that direction more with her because you want to do something that you both enjoy. And you're right, probably on my own, more of the grunge kicks in. And I think my vocal ability has changed, throughout the years. So learning to, get a little bit more grungy vocally is something I've been taking on more recently.
And how did you, I get now as you're like, oh crap, I actually did that. Now that I look back, I from now looking and guess dissecting your songs lyrically and me even throwing backing vocals on that, do are you wanting to be on the heavier side of things? Do you want to have a little, like garbage kind of like 90s Smashing Pumpkins-esque vibe to your songs going forth?
You know what? I think I would have to say, I don't really think there's any other way that I could do music because those are my influences and I can't get them out of my blood. But I think they'll always come out. And I guess mimicry is the greatest form of flattery. So
Well, it's not
whenever I
even
get
mimicking. It's like
something I
it's
love,
be honest. It's like we're music is all about sharing notes.
yeah.
Unofficially, like unknowingly, people are going to write similar hooks, chords, note progressions,
Mhm.
and stuff like that without knowing.
Yeah.
It's just like It's just how music evolves. Everyone's learning from each other, and we're all evolving as artists.
Yeah. And I think like you said, even like the chord progressions maybe that I resonate with that I've heard in other songs, I resonate with them because they're evoking emotion in me. So there's no surprise that I would write with that same emotion and come up with the same or similar chord progressions that has that same essence essentially.
And I would be from the ask. We talked about a little bit on the offline too. I'm like, what was considered the first Mickey Mick solo song, right? Because there obviously there was no
Yeah.
formal like, hey, I'm doing my solo thing. You just kind of like gradually like, hey, this is me. What was the first, I
Yeah.
guess, your official foyer, into, going into, Mickey Mick era? The first song.
Yeah, well, there was a couple songs in the making, moving from Mick and Moxie into Mickey Mick. The first release song was Nuclear Fallout under Mickey Mick. But there was a couple others in the mix too that I guess you could say were in competition with it. But the official first one would be Nuclear Fallout, which is
Which
now our opening song today that we still have.
which will never gonna take off. I swear that's the best kickoff song. Before we used to have it as the finisher, which is a great finisher, but
Hmm.
as an opener, it's a great energy setter for the whole show.
Yeah,
It's a great freaking anthem, catchy. Everyone I share well, like, oh, what does Mickey Mix sound like? I listen to our music video, and like,
yeah, there you
it's
go.
such a perfect song that encapsulates one great chorus, great riffs, and then that darker edge that you were getting into, like going for
Yeah.
more singles.
It was just a fun music video, I think, to shoot too, coming into the first song with it, as the first song under Mickey Mick. I think it was just a fun experience too. And funniest, a friend came to a show and they're like, I can't wait to hear Nuclear Fallout. And I was like, well, great, it's the first song, so you can get out early and leave right after that.
No, no, everyone needs to stay, all right?
Yeah,
But
stay, tip your bartender, order drinks.
no, it's good to ask then also. He's came to a couple, actually one, I've met him a couple times, but he's came to a rehearsal once. Your producer, has he been working with you
Yes.
this whole time for all the songs?
For all of Mickey Mick, Mikey Highlife has been my producer. Yeah. And I think we just clicked. And once I started working with him, he has a lot of the same influences that I have. So I think that we work really well together. There's kind of an unspoken way of talking about music where we just have the same kind of sound profile that we're interested in. So I think it works really well. He's able to kind of fill in the blanks where I leave off. Yeah, and so we've been working together for all of Mickey Mick. I actually had another producer that introduced me to him temporarily because unfortunately their studio had burnt down. And then following that, just Mikey Highlife and I continued and still to today continue working on music.
Now it's good to ask because some producers, the chemistry between you and like, as a producer, it's very crucial, right? It's like you're really pushing out the diamond from the sand and the rock. You're trying to build out that gold out of there. And do you think he pushes you creatively in different ways that you might not have gone before?
Yeah, vocally, he's definitely pushed me to try out different kind of aspects of my vocal range. I would say coming in to meet him, I started out kind of as a background singer and then came up to be a singer. I do feel that he kind of gives me the space to be experimental and pushes me to be more experimental. So, yeah, I'm happy to have someone pushing me and not just keeping me in a safe zone for music.
And I love that he's been open with me, just like, rough recording things from my own computer and then sending it to
Mhm.
you and then adding them into the song, which is sick.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that's what's so great about today that we can have that kind of collaboration, even though you and I are not always in the same location, that you can just record and send stuff in and we're able to incorporate it from our end so that it works out great that way. And he's open to that.
Now, this would be a fun, kind of important question to ask on this age of technology, right? And we're open to
Mhm.
this sharing of music. You share with us in the whole band group chat, like, here's a new demo of the new song for you guys to learn and stuff like that. And it's great for these quick ways to do it. So we're not all have to be in the same room to learn this song,
Yeah.
right? We can know ahead of time, come to rehearsal and be ready. But
Hmm.
on the other side of this new dawn of technology and making things easier, do you feel now that people are self-releasing so much music that there is no feedback to change it, right? They're just pushing it out to push it out, and there's no, like you said, communal talk between people to make different music.
Yeah. I mean, I think with the advent of AI into music, I mean, we're only seeing the very, very beginning of it right now, but I think in 5 years, uh, we're probably going to see a point where people are just, producing two songs a day and just releasing two songs a day. So you're right. I don't think there's going to be that critical feedback loop that currently exists in music that I think is still in place at the moment. Um, yeah, the future will bring, I think, some big change. And yeah, that feedback is important, I think, to evolve as an artist.
And you're also working with Nick. You know, the late one of the latest songs we've done is like you had Nick on there, right? He helped
Yeah.
creatively
Mhm.
put some stuff on there too. So you've tapped into a little bit of everybody on the team, and it's awesome to hear
Yeah.
that, you know. And he gets to do some screaming vocals on there, and you get to take a break and play. So it's that that give and take has been also, I guess, in a way, helping shape the, I guess, now new future of Mickey Mick.
Yeah, and I think yeah, with Nick, I didn't realize until I saw him perform for another event that he actually had the ability to scream like that, and that's when it was like a light bulb went off, and I was like, "Why do we have this untapped resource in the band? We got to get him screaming on a song." So I think that's great, and then you also your flexibility between guitar and bass really helps out a lot too. That we can bring you in on guitar or bass for songs, whether it's live, whether it's recorded. Think having that ability of other people to kind of chip in and bring something new does shape how the overall sound comes out.
Oh, I'm so happy I get to play my pink SG. That is like that is my baby, and like it, which it's also I will never stop using it for shows because the songs that I put them on there for and sent you the leads to is the one I've used it for, and I get to use it for that. So I'm like, it even feels even better for
Exactly.
that.
Yeah, it's brought to fruition to play live. Exactly.
And then now it's like my pink SG is so it's so kind of like part of me now. It's like I feel like if I don't play, I don't have it, then I'm not playing,
Yeah, it's kind of your trademark, I think now.
and no sleeves.
Yeah, and those pink SG. Muscles and pink SG.
Fuck yeah. Well, talking about music and well, we just kind of played a whole new single that has yet to be released, low key,
Mhm.
which low key I know nothing about besides playing it. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
so let's talk about this new single that we got to rip for the first time at Hotel Ziggy, just a little over a week ago. Yeah, and what's the timeline for this and what's this song about?
Yeah, I think that was a first kind of fun trial run for the song. So the song's called Low Key Crazy. It's going to be coming out early April, I think April 3rd, Friday, April 3rd, a week before our show at the Viper. It's it's kind of actually kind of a retrospective piece in my life and my experiences in combination with kind of friends' experiences in their life. So most of my music is angry girl music, and I think that's definitely tied into this song a bit as well. The song originated about kind of like a new relationship starting up and the magic in a new relationship, but always knowing that that is really just the initial setup in a relationship, and that when reality sets in, things kind of fall apart. So as I've kind of just been watching my friends kind of move in and out of relationships, I think it inspired that song from my old relationships and from what I'm seeing around me of just the happiness at first and then the tragedy that comes in following that.
The low key ending of it.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of it's the crazy manicness in the beginning of a relationship and then kind of the depressing side at the end of a relationship, kind of all compiled into one song.
And it's super catchy. Like again, you're still following that kind of, the grungy tone that I kind of brought up to, and it's very catchy and still very
Mhm.
different from the rest of the songs. Lyrics wise, is Mikey helping you with that as well? Like creating stuff like, hey, maybe we should throw this in here for the chorus and do stuff like that.
Yeah, Mikey has a really good input. And I think sometimes when I come to him, I'll come in and be like, this is the guitar that I want on the chorus. This is the pre-chorus because I write guitar and vocals. And then sometimes he'll be like, well, why don't we just slide this over here and actually try this pre-chorus guitar as like a chorus guitar? And he'll start rearranging things. And I think that's kind of his magic that he has, how he can hear things in a different light. And yeah, that's why it's so great to collaborate with him and see what he can come up with versus kind of what I had come up with on my own. And I think on that song, there's something unique because the guitar riff for the pre-chorus and then the final chorus are actually one and the same.
And what I've also grown to love from when you're releasing music, and you do a lot of music videos actually too, when releasing singles, which is a rare thing nowadays. It's just a bunch of people now pre-recording their shit over video and then posting it on a reel. Like no one's, doing
Yeah.
music videos anymore, and it's appreciate that. It's more effort and it gets you numbers to look at all the Mickey Mick music videos and like they're all, double digits and going higher. So it's a really cool thing to see. Do you feel like there's going to be a music video for Low Key? Maybe have some crazy boys flipping
That's a
out
great
going crazy?
question. I would love to do a music video or at least kind of like a teaser visualizer for it. I'm not really sure what is in store for it. But yeah, music videos, I just think I have nostalgia with music videos. So I personally love music videos. I think a song is complete with a music video. So possibly music video or visualizer for low key. I'm excited about this one.
Yeah, because it puts like, again, like you said, the nostalgia and it adds the story maybe behind the lyrics, like
Mhm.
visualize what you want and how you're going to do it. And you've been fortunate to have the last few music videos, Matthias been behind the camera doing that and then having
Yeah.
someone edit it and then, put it all together in this visual storyboard, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. There's been a lot of, yeah, Matthias has been able to help a lot with filming music videos more recently and just bringing things together. Because, like you said, in this day and age, getting a large production together like that, a large team together, is quite difficult to do. So, having so many people that are, willing to help out and contribute their time to a music video is just great to have that support.
And this is gonna be another good like leeway, as we're going into more and more of the future of music and talking about the ever expanding and changing of the nature. You've only ever done singles, right? Everything you've done is singles. You've done one kind of EP, and it was accumulation of all the songs put together. And is that what you're gonna stay on? Are you gonna stay just pumping out the single format?
I like the single format. I definitely, when I realized people were moving away from albums, I think I embraced the fact that just releasing singles kind of randomly was more of my style, anyways. I think we talk about the evolution of bands. So I had like the Stolen Audio Band to the Crown Lust to Mick and Maxi to Mickey Mick. And I just feel that it's always kind of ongoing movement from one to the next, but everything is all connected. And I think when we look at albums, albums are like a book with chapters. And while that's great for some people, I think it lacks the idea of continuation of music and just the kind of exponential growth that people have, that it continues on. And that's what I like about the singles is that from one single to the next, it can be a completely different style song, but yet it shows kind of the continuous growth and emotional experience of an artist.
Yeah, absolutely. Like from you alone, just seeing the growth of each single from, Mickey Mick and even coming from Mick and Maxi, just one, the production behind the music, the songwriting, adding elements from everybody else in the band that want to contribute to it. You can hear the development of each song changing, but in the best way possible.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's fun that way. I'm happy with singles.
And do you think you'll ever want to do an album, like, or do another EP or something like that? Is that like, will you entertain it? Maybe if things grow larger, is that something you'll
Yeah.
to do?
If I felt that something fit together really well, that I would want almost like a book with chapters, that I think it was like an episode of my life that could come together. Um, Possibly I would be open to the idea, but I just like the kind of continuous movement that you never really know where the future of the next single is going. I like that idea for now.
And I love the fact that you have not fallen on this trend of someone releasing a single and they're singing the chorus for 30 fucking videos in different locations and releasing those videos over the entire year and is
Yeah.
bleeding this single dry to the point I never want to listen to the song because I hear this fucking chorus coming up on my search feed or my Explorer page. I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to listen to the song because I see this every fucking where.
Yeah. I think it's almost like someone trying to play the lottery, hoping that one of those videos will catch that one chorus is going to be enough to get them through everything else. But yeah, you're right. I think sometimes that lacks the diversity of the rest of the music, and it's just showing one small aspect of a band or of a person, and it really lacks the everything that encompasses them as a musician. So, yeah, that's something I haven't done. I think most of my social media is really live, kind of live photo collections and things like that coming together. So it's a little different with songs in the background.
And the live videos that I take and record.
Live video, record. Exactly, exactly.
Hey, I'm all about
Mhm.
the angle, all right? Get the angle, get the full band in there, make sure the sound looks great. It's up the angle.
Yeah, yeah.
But this is another great segue again. It's the new nature of social media. Like we're in this crazy dawn where it's more accessible than ever, and it
Hmm.
feels so like zombie-esque for an artist to be on social media. Like we have to do it, we have to post. It's just
Hmm.
almost like soul sucking, right? What's
Yeah.
your stance, view, opinion, love, hate, fuck social media?
Yeah, yeah, there's a love-hate relationship. Of course, social media is great because you can reach people that you never thought you could reach before, and people reach out to you. And it's just, amazing. I have people writing me from like Germany about the music, um, and just people that I wouldn't have reached otherwise without social media. So I love that aspect of it. But I think you're right. There's a large part where there's competition and comparison and standards that artists are expected to meet as far as following, how often they're posting videos, what kind of content they're posting, if they're putting the right links to sales within their videos. I think there's a lot of standards out there that are not necessarily in the wheelhouse of what musicians traditionally do. So I think it ends up being more of a burden at times, trying to live up to all of those standards of what's expected of a musician for social media.
Well, even now, so like I love paying attention. Most of the time I'm actually like even when I'm at home, I have YouTube on in the background, I have a lot of podcasts, listening to artists that I like. I try my best to stay off Instagram. I like to do the post
Hmm.
and ghost. I'll post, tag people, get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
Aaron Gillespie of Under Oath brought up a really cool thing talking about this modern age of social media, TikTok, Reels, all that stuff. And record companies are now, you kind of need that, right? They're
Hmm.
looking at your TikTok numbers, your social media engagement, and he was talking about it's kind of, unrewarding. It's demotivating. Like now I have this, extracurricular activity that I have to worry about these
Hmm.
numbers. Do you think like is this the realistic goal of an artist to have to worry about TikTok now?
Yeah, I think the way that artists are being viewed, it is something realistic that we do have to consider because I know a lot of places won't even look at an artist if they don't have a certain following or if they're not posting enough. They want artists to build themselves so that they don't have to invest to build an artist, essentially. They want to take a prepackaged artist. I don't necessarily agree with that because I do think it goes against the roots of what being an artist is. Those are other attributes that don't necessarily contribute to someone being a good artist. But that's great if somebody has both of those things. They can be probably quite successful today.
Yeah, it really is like what you brought up. Because what it was, 20 years ago, essentially, getting a record deal was like cool. You sat down, you had a band, you were playing shows, you're getting attention, you're doing this, building yourself up musically, and now this record company comes up, hey, we love your sound, we can get you this marketing team, put you on this here, boom, 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 boom. Here's the plan for you, right?
Yeah.
And now it's coming down to, oh yeah, we heard your music, but now, oh dude, we saw that you post like one TikTok video a month. Sorry, dude.
Yeah. You won't be brought on. And I think kind of a double-edged sword because for the people who are doing a lot of TikTok, if they're really experienced with social media, they may be lacking in other areas like playing live. So they might all of a sudden be thrown in front of a live audience and not be able to play live or be able to control a crowd. Things like this are things that we miss out when we only focus on social media, I think.
Hot take question. It's a hot take.
Hmm.
Now it's
Yeah.
especially in LA, we have a lot of people always putting out music. There's,
Hmm.
whether it be at home, quick SoundClouds, Sono, whatever the fuck it's called, Chat
Yeah.
GPT, whatever they're doing to make their own music. I'm all
Hmm.
pro for that. But do you think people who do not play a show, are they really artists?
I think yeah, I would say they're definitely still artists. I just think they're embracing a different aspect of art. And I think every artist has things that they're really good at and things that they're not so good at. And so that might be social media for some people promoting themselves. I think that, yeah, playing a live show is definitely an aspect of being an artist, but it doesn't necessarily qualify someone to be an artist. I think people can make great music from at home on their computer that people can enjoy and relate to, and still serves as an artistic form, I think, of, sound and emotion, without actually ever playing live shows, which I think is unfortunate because being able to share something in a live setting is great, but I wouldn't have it as a qualifying event for an artist.
Yeah, we're in an interesting like I'd say we've grown. We're about the same in age, and we've grown through the most pivotal years, I'd say, as a music industry, right? Going from the 80s to 90s, the evolution from vinyl to tape to CD to MP3, and just seeing this whole escalate of music. And the biggest boom, I would say, like the last 30 to 40 years has been the largest boom in the music.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think there's going to be big changes ahead of us, even bigger than what we've seen in the past, of just moving from music format to kind of how music is presented to people. And I think that's what we're seeing with social media, is that artists are taking on different aspects of art, and where we traditionally see somebody performing live and maybe be introduced to music in a live setting. Now we're just seeing that we're being introduced to music maybe through social media instead, through a different medium.
Now, another, hot take fun question is how big is an image for an artist? Like, besides making the music, creating
Mhm.
a branding image for you as well. How big is that?
Yeah. Um, I mean, for me, it's kind of something that it just naturally happens. I feel like I'm just being myself, not really creating an image, that this is how I like my hair. This is how I dress. So I don't really think of it as an image because I think it's the same person that I wander through life as, even if I was a musician or if I wasn't a musician. But I think we can call them more like characters, I think, too. When I look back at the bands that I've liked, I've kind of immortalized people as characters in my head and not real people. And I think that's kind of a fun aspect of a musician, as being a character. So I do think it's important in that sense, but I don't think it means that people are tied down to the character that they create. I think there's a lot of change that can take place.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've noticed, for major artists nowadays, when they've left certain bands or projects and they're like, oh, I'm gonna go do this. And everyone's like, whoa, I've only known you like this for 20 years. But like, yeah, but I kind of
Yeah,
want to do this now.
yeah, yeah. Cutting your hair, dyeing it a different color.
Because that's the personal aspect, I guess, of the music side, as a
Mhm.
listener, like you said, they vision you and they had this, not fantasy, but just they looked you at a different pedestal than what you see yourself, and they lock you in that time capsule.
Yeah, exactly. Almost kind of like actors being typecast or something.
Yeah, exactly. Pigeonholed you, putting you in one, just like, dude, no, you're supposed to stay in this lane, dude. What are you doing over here? And why are you making a dubstep EP, EDM album?
Yeah. That's why I think it's funny when you said that I went from more of a pop punk to a grunge. I didn't even notice that I made that change myself. I just thought it was like the natural evolution of music and that it was kind of seamless. But it's interesting to see that you've actually noticed the changes in music that have come about.
Oh yeah, I'm playing
Yeah, you're playing it.
it.
Exactly.
Well,
Uh,
this is really cool to talk about as I live in OC, which for people who don't know, it's like right below LA, and that can be from an hour to 3 hours depending on the time of day.
but
Um,
you're never late. No matter what, you're never late when you get up here. So I don't know if you're always counting 3 hours beforehand to get up here, but
I know how to like I plan like one of them. I'm the only one who asks what's our set time, so I know, and I still laugh. I'm like, dude, how am I here before everyone? You guys all live in fucking LA. Because
very LA people, very LA
because it
people.
really is a slim chance. Like in one, like literally in a minute, one car can
Uh-huh.
hit another. You have a four-car pileup and blocking four lanes
Yeah.
at 405 or 101, right? So it's like
Exactly.
you gotta premeditate and think about these things before you leave.
Yeah. Yep.
But what is your view on the LA music scene?
LA music scene. Well, there's different pockets, I would say, in the LA music scene. Right now, I'm mostly Sunset Strip music scene. So playing around here, kind of I I would say my opinion on the scene here is that we see a lot of bands come and go. I'm always excited to see bands sticking in the scene, kind of changing over time, really finding out kind of their sound in music. So I'm really happy to see that. But it's always nice to see, new faces too. People move out to LA with these dreams of doing music. They come here and they're all starry-eyed when they get here. And it's exciting to see kind of that hope and that love for music that people come here with, and that they want to share their love for music with other people. So I personally am not very pessimistic when it comes to the LA music scene. I'm really happy with it. I love seeing new people coming in, and I love seeing people, stick around and watching their bands kind of morph over time in the same scene that we're all kind of just drifting in.
And it's interesting that you brought up the new people coming in and new bands always forming, but then they're also quickly kind of leaving. And
Yeah. Mhm.
there's two things I want to bring up on that. One, with bands, ending and leaving, and it's a never-ending carousel of artists playing in LA. Do you
Mhm.
think it's also now we're at a point where, people come here almost as like a get rich quick scheme, right? They think they're gonna fucking make it, make a quick band, but they realize how hard they have to work and they jump ship and try to do something else.
Yeah, I think I see that a lot. I see people coming out here for music who then pursue acting and other things like that, trying to move from one art form to the other. And some people are multi-talented and they can do that. Um, I think that there's a lot of dreams that are broken here in LA. Actually, the song that I'm working on right now, it's not done, still recording, is about people's relationship with LA. And so it's interesting because my producer, Mikey Mike, he's born and raised LA. I'm from the Bay Area, so still California, as you know. That I think we have kind of a different perspective on LA, but then we have people coming from not only all over the US, but from other countries who come here to LA with the dream. And the song that I'm writing is kind of about that experience from other people's eyes of them seeing LA for the first time and kind of how it changes them over time. And many people just, like you said, pack up and move back home or try to change kind of what they came out here to do to still make it, to still survive in LA.
And I think that's another aspect I was going to bring up, like with people coming in, like Crispy Burrell, the guitar player.
Yeah. Hmm.
I've seen him, because he was playing on the East Coast for a while, then he made the jump ship over here, right? And he was working with a couple different people and different bands, and he's growing and evolving himself, but he's grinding it out,
Yeah.
and he's making it happen. And at least from what I'm seeing, is there's a lot of people with that starry-eyed that don't
Yeah.
have, I'd say, the fortitude or the endurance to want to stick it out. And like, how bad do you want it, man? How bad do you want to grind to find another band? Keep moving. Oh, that didn't work out. Cool. Next one. Next one. Next one.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think in Crispy's case, he came here with that experience of already kind of knowing what he needed to do, and he was visiting LA. And so he definitely was able to get here and grind and just be successful in that sense. But you're right. I think a lot of people come out here who haven't really put the time and effort into honing in on their skills as a musician. Then they come out here, and there's a lot of competition out here. And
Especially as
then
guitar players. Oh my God, they're
yeah,
fucking
especially as
dime in
guitar players. Exactly.
LA.
Welcome to LA as a guitar player. But I think that's kind of what makes the Sunset Strip is these starry-eyed people that come in and then kind of the heartbreak and tragedy as well. I think that just fuels the emotion that's here in the city that you can feel, that vibrance.
Now, one thing as like I've met a lot of I have I have a love-hate feeling with LA. I have made some great people, you and Matthias included, some friends of mine in other bands in LA, and I'm really proud that I've made like a solid ground of real people in LA. And at least from my side of the OC guy coming in, every couple of months and so, or coming up there for shows, it feels very transactional based almost like in the anytime I used to love going to Rainbow, but now Rainbow just feels kind of like an Instagram, TikTok photo shoot place for people just to like promote themselves, or it's just kind of like a nice growing community.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I still love the rainbow, of course. I feel more like going to parties and social events is where that transactional aspect comes into play. Is when you meet somebody, who are you? What do you do? Who do you know? Kind of thing. Yeah, I think I've just gotten used to that, that's kind of the initial conversation with people. And you're right. I think socializing in new circles where that's people's first questions are not necessarily the places that I frequent as much. I think I kind of just stay more on like the Sunset Strip music scene where we're all kind of fighting the same beast down here, you know?
Which that beast would be shows, bookers,
Exactly.
promoters.
Yeah.
And
We're
I
all
kind
playing
of,
the same game. Yeah.
but I also kind of feel it trickles into that. I don't know how you feel, like, from certain promoters that I won't say their name that start with a K, and just the I've been really proud to say I've booked some like 4 or 5 shows in the last couple of years and I've had you on there and us playing it. I always I love creating a show where it's everyone similar, right?
Yeah.
From I make
Yeah.
the flyer, I make this, I want to make this show where the music is all supporting each other. And I feel
Mhm.
there's a lot of stuff, a lot of shows that are just 30 bands on one bill and different promos for each one of them and no one's supporting each other.
Yeah, and definitely I like that when you book shows, you consider that. I think it's really important not only for the musician, but for the people in attendance. If people are going to be watching one band and the next band is similar to that band, they're probably going to stick around if they liked one band to learn about a new band. So I think it's beneficial for people watching shows, attending shows, and for the musicians themselves to kind of be able to have audience members that are willing to stay around and not just coming out for their friend's band. So that builds more of a community when you have bookers like yourself that are really kind of engaging for putting together a show.
And because I mean, I've stuck around for a couple. I've been part of that receiving end. I'm like, oh, I'll just stay around for the people that I want to see. But I have done and been surprised by some of the bands that I've seen there. Because a lot of times, I'm going off the judgment of a lot of these bands. They want someone the promoter wants someone to be there to pay a slot, right? They don't listen to the
Yeah.
music. They don't know who they are. Oh, we can get you on this time slot. Give me $300.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, and also, I think one of the telltale signs of a good booker is a booker that actually goes to the show. So you have like the Viper Room and T-Roy. T-Roy's there supporting bands. He's a musician himself. He knows the struggle. He knows how to talk to musicians. And then you have like Grant Owens for We Found New Music. He was there at the show for our last show at Hotel
Was
Ziggy,
he
which
that
was
guy in
so
the
cool.
corner?
Red jacket, hat, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool.
so he
Yeah,
was
I didn't know
there. He
that.
was there
Yeah.
supporting all of the bands, which was
Oh,
so cool. And I mean, that's what I personally like to see in a booker is someone who actually likes what they're doing. They like music, they like bands, they like bringing people together. I mean, that's how you get a good show, I would say.
yeah, and that's what I was, even when I was not even playing my own shows and I was booking shows,
Yeah.
I still wanted to
Hmm.
show up. I wanted to make sure everything ran smoothly. There was no issues with backline.
Yeah.
There was no issues with bands getting parking or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
it's just really sad that it's a very small percentage of people who do that. And
Hmm.
it just kind of feeds this horrible beast in LA of shows that it's just the quality of shows I feel like have gone down in LA.
Yeah, it's quantity over quality for sure when it comes to that.
So in a sense that it feels like shows are not being played to one play shows
Yeah.
that hopes of like, oh, you never know what new fans you're going to get in attendance or who's that person in the crowd that's going to find you guys. It almost
Yeah.
kind of now feels like shows have become just for like, Whiskey, Viper, Virgil, like these classic, 30 band lineup venues that it's just used for bands to do a promo for themselves and get social media content.
Yeah. Yeah, that it's not necessarily about the show itself. It's just like you said, the promo around it sometimes. Yeah, and that's why I think, being aware as a booker is so important of what makes a good show. And you being a musician, you have the firsthand experience of, what musicians want. Being an audience member, you have that experience as well. And I think that's what makes a good booker is that experience.
Try my best. I try. It is so stressful to book shows. I understand the hustle and grind behind it and I
Yeah.
selling tickets, but I do like I said, I want to take both lanes, but I don't want to put a show just to put a show. I want these bands
Yeah.
to all mesh together in a sound where everyone wants to stick around and check the next band.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't imagine dealing with musicians as a booker. I don't think I could handle it. I don't have the patience for us.
Well, it's just fun to ask too, is do you think LA is still a big music hub? Do you think it's because right now the competing market technically is Nashville, right? You know, a lot of people are leaving
Yeah.
LA to go to
Mhm.
Nashville or even Austin.
Yeah.
Austin's kind of like the third runner up right now. Um,
Yeah. Mhm.
do you think it's still like this big music mecca?
I definitely still think it is, and I think it will be throughout our lifetime. I mean, there's just so much history. I mean, Nashville has a lot of history too, but there's so much history here for the rock scene that I definitely think it will always be a mecca for music here in LA. I knew a lot of people like 10 years ago or so who were moving out to Nashville. Well, a lot of them moved out to Nashville and then ended up moving back home to where they were from. So while they thought Nashville was the solution to the problems that they had in LA, it didn't seem like it was. So people thought they could go to LA, make it here. Then when they didn't, they would move to Nashville and make it in Nashville and found out that that was not really the case either. So while I think that Nashville is great and I love Nashville, I do think that the LA scene is still going to be thriving. I think people are always going to be flooding in here for any of the arts, for music, acting, comedy, all of these things. We just have so much here.
No, I'm really excited to as I play with another band called Fighting George, which have had you guys on as I've played with
Yeah.
them. Our drummer is leaving to go to Nashville, and the band's still staying together. And
Uh-huh.
we're doing like a farewell show to wish him best, but we're still staying together. And he's gonna, while he's living out in Nashville, book us shows
Hmm.
to play in Nashville. And I'm excited to see. Like I've
Yeah.
seen it from a like person going there, watching shows and seeing and talking to people, but now kind
Hmm.
of getting to experience playing there, and then I can actually have a actual say and opinion of how it's gonna feel like.
Yeah, I think, yeah, getting firsthand experience as a band playing there is pretty important. I've just kind of seen it from an outsider of people coming and going. Um, a lot of things I've seen in Nashville too, because it's such a tourist attraction for music, is that a lot of the bands are just doing cover music and they don't actually even get the opportunity to play their own music. But I'm sure with the situation that you have, you'll be able to play at more local venues where people are actually seeking out original music, not just cover band music for tourists.
Yeah, and that's the the niche of Nashville, right? You have every single bar has a live stage, so it's pros and cons, right? And every band is
Mhm.
essentially kind of getting paid based off the tip. So it's again, pros and cons. Yeah, you're playing covers most of the time for the people there, but making the wiggle room you can, throwing your own cover in there. Oh, we're gonna take a break from covers and do a couple original songs, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, if they let you. I'm probably just impartial to LA. I love LA. So
Which we have never done a cover. Never.
yeah, never done a cover. One of the things I've been thinking about covers a lot, but when I think about the songs that I really like and appreciate, I feel like the way that they are untouched in their original form is like the best way they can be. I don't feel that I can add to them. I feel like my music is my thing, that music is not my thing. So covering it is not necessarily the direction I would go into. But it's funny that you brought this up because just last night I was thinking of maybe considering a cover, but I've always
Whoa.
been against it. Whoa, big
Who would that
revelation.
be? Who would that be?
I don't know. Of course, I love like the 90s influence. So bringing something back from the 90s that has like nostalgia. I love Smashing Pumpkins. Like one of my favorite songs is Tonight from Smashing Pumpkins. That even as a kid, I was like trying to cover myself all the time at like parties and stuff. Um, so that might be an option, but I don't know. Looking into it, just what would be a fun song to do that's engaging for everyone?
What I've viewed from covers, because Finding Georgia does do covers, and we do some. There's a few that I hate. I'm like, no, we are never fucking doing this song. Oh my God. Um, and then there's
Mhm.
some that I'm like, they make it their own, and that's what I kind of view in bands is like I know
Yeah.
what you said you don't want to change and take away from the original, but when a band does a
Mhm.
cover, I want them to make it their own. I want them to play it in a way that I didn't think about playing it.
Yeah. I think that's a great way to put it too, because I've done covers in other bands before. Um, and it's just like sometimes I don't feel that we are adding anything to the song. We're just kind of playing a song so that the crowd is more familiar with the song, but it's
Yeah.
not it's not an artistic expression. But you're right, when someone can take a song and give it a different twist, that could change it. I think that is a kind of an artistic view of covers.
Yeah, and I mean it's funny and as we're in the golden age of TikTok and lip syncing
Yeah.
and covers and people are getting famous
Yeah.
for just doing lip syncing on TikTok, it's kind of funny.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. And a lot of covers, lip syncing cover, just lip syncing songs. Yeah, all covers.
That's a whole
Um,
other ordeal. We don't even need to go down that rabbit hole.
yeah.
Well, what's coming up for? I mean, I know some of the stuff that's happening for the rest of the year. Like we got a show coming up with on April 10th to Friday, which this episode's going to be coming out after that. So it's kind of like we can't really
Okay.
do a plug for it, but
Can't
we already
promote
have
it.
the show already been done. But
Yeah.
we've been on a good run, like of playing shows once a month, and that's been pretty fun.
Mhm.
It's like we're already tight sounding, so it's like we just show up
Yeah.
and play.
Yeah, and that's what I love, just keeping it active. So I want to continue with the once a month. Just, I think also branching out to newer venues. Like when we did the Rainbow Room, that was something that I had never considered doing before, and that was actually pretty fun, you know.
Yeah, I love it was a
Looking
very
into different
punk rocky
venues.
vibe to it. And the crowd was sick. It was dope. It was super
Yeah.
tight, intimate, sweaty.
Hmm.
Liked it.
Yeah, sweaty, exactly. That's what we go for, sweaty. So I think, yeah, Rainbow Room, looking into booking Rainbow Room again. Just playing around the Sunset Strip, I think, is maybe once a month. New songs coming out, like you said, in April, and then working on new music in the studio currently too, that should be coming out probably in like May or something. So
Fun
more music, more shows.
fun to ask. Do you I mean I know I approached about you and I understand logistics wise of not doing shows like an OC or something like that. Is that harder now more than ever for artists to play in other cities to like branch out?
Well, I think one of the difficult things is that for us in particular, three of us are in LA,
Yeah.
and some people play, I think, two shows in one night. So it's like if someone's jumping from one show to the next, now they can't do that if it's in the OC.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the most difficult things is that it's asking people to go further, which is something that you already do. But that people aren't too stoked about moving forward and going to other areas. I mean, that would be great to, I think, branch out some more, that we should consider that and see kind of what everybody wants to do.
Yeah, but it just I was saying in general, like as I've
Yeah.
noticed that in the industry, as I'm booking shows for, other bands, that it's kind of interesting to see LA bands, they typically stay in LA and it's just like I
Yeah.
wonder that was different than 20 years ago when bands wanted to play anywhere they could play, right? And now everyone wants
Yeah.
to stay in the same venues.
Yeah. Maybe it's the economy. Who knows? We don't want to go anywhere. Too expensive.
All right, not with the gas prices. Fuck no.
Yeah. The gas prices. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. People jumping in vans and driving places. It's a little bit more expensive now.
Well, it's always fun to ask because you never know what people are listening to. What new
Uh-huh.
music have you been bumping? Is it a vegan only playlist? Is it
New music.
or anything? What's been on your
You know
rotating
what? I
episode?
end up kind of picking up what other people are listening to around me. It just ends up, infiltrating my personal space. So I think Turnstile is like one of the bands that I've just been hearing so much about. Not necessarily like the newest up and coming band. They've been out for a bit now, but I like them. I think they kind of embrace a lot of the music and the music roots that I grew up with too. So you can definitely hear those influences in their music.
Yeah, like I know they've grown from like the sense like hardcore to kind of like a almost like a punk sound to them. Yeah,
Yeah.
they've been a big new torch for new music, going into the Grammys and stuff like that, right?
Mhm.
Next to like Spirit
Yeah.
Box and other bands too.
Yeah. Mhm.
So I'm always open musically listening to different stuff as well because it's like you need to. I think it's very important as an artist. Like you got to
Yeah.
be open to other things. Like one minute, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get some honky tonk, get some shit kickers on. Then next, what, fuck
Yeah.
it, put in some Pantera.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, like you were even saying with Spirit Box and like Poppy, like seeing all these female musicians too is really encouraging, I think, um, of people just being successful at this point as female musicians. And like that's great to see as well.
Now it'll be fun and interesting to see I haven't seen it yet, and I wonder who's gonna do it. I know it's gonna be a hot topic, and someone's gonna try to pull it off. An all
Mhm.
female front woman festival
Mhm.
or tour.
Festival. Well, isn't there Lilith? Was it Lilith Fest or something
There's
back in the day?
really?
I think so, Lilith Fest, but maybe it's not all female. Maybe it's just female fronted. I'm not sure.
Well,
I'll have
not
to
like
look
all
that.
female, but meaning front woman, people like
Yeah.
Hailstorm, like Poppy or something like that. Where we're at right now, I think that would sell
Uh-huh.
really well for a big, like a major city.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be, I mean, that would be super cool to even get up on a lineup of something like that. That would be awesome. It's funny because our rainbow show we did was kind of a female fronted, even though there was mixed bands, female fronted setup, which was kind of fun,
Yeah, because
especially
that's
around
even harder to
Valentine's
find
Day.
an all female huge popular groups are hard to find in
Yeah.
general, but
hmm
there's a lot of popular huge front female lead singers right now in
Yeah,
the music industry.
of course. Yeah, that I think, yeah, that would be a great festival to bring together.
I'm gonna work on that.
Maybe you need to book it, Justin.
I'm gonna
Maybe
get
you
some
need to get it
I'm gonna get some
done.
investors to make this happen.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's been so freaking awesome to finally have you on and talk about a little bit of everything from
Of
history,
course.
music now, LA, all of it.
hmm All of it, the Sunset Strip, the heartbreak, and
Hey,
the
I'm
love.
telling you, the next new song you could work on, Sunset Queen, that would be a sick song. I get 10%.
The Queen. Okay, okay.
Hey, you're also great on merch design too, giving out free shirts and stuff. So it could be a new merch slash single, Sunset Queen.
Merch. That would be cool to have merch line up with the singles coming out. Not a bad idea.
I get
I'll have to
10%.
get a new logo for the next song.
Well, I'm gonna have all your links posted, right? I'm gonna have her Instagram, Spotify, everything. Sorry, she doesn't have an OnlyFans. Sorry, guys.
Exactly. We'll have to work on that one.
No feet
No
pics.
covers, but only fans.
I'll have all those links posted. All right. So wherever you're watching this, either on YouTube or on Spotify, I'll have them all in the description bio. Give us a follow and check out shows as we're going to be posting and doing more. This will be coming out after our latest show on April 10th, but I'm sure more will be announced. And come out, check us out. We're a fun show, I think.
Thanks so much, Justin.